Welcome to Scorched Earth and the general looking for the lesson reading for the sign of Libra, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the month of December. I hope you're well. I'm going to be using the Tarot of the Abyss for you today. So I did these readings solidly for about 2 years, and then I mothballed them back this summer because I needed to claw back a little bit of time for myself. However, I have felt like they needed to return, if only briefly. I don't know if they'll be back in January, but they're certainly back for December. So this is where we are. And I'm going to explain a little bit how they work for those of you who haven't seen them before. But before I do, I just wanted to let you know that I have completed 6-month overviews for each of the signs, running from January to June 2023. That's the first link in the description box. The second link in the description box is to my private community over on Circle. It's called the Order of the Phoenix. If you are interested in joining that, please do go check out that link. Right, this is probably best described as an exercise in perspective. I see every experience and interaction that we have as containing vital wisdom or indeed a lesson somewhere, if only we are open to seeing it, and too often we're not because we get bogged down with the drama or indeed the drudgery of our day-to-day existence. And so I come to the conclusion that it's easier to get through things when they're hard if you can see what it is that the energy is trying to push you towards. Sometimes that can be, releasing something. Sometimes it can be embracing something. Sometimes it can be showing you something about yourself. We won't know until the cards hit the table. But the idea is to give you an opportunity to take your eyes up from where they are and see where it is that you're going. So to that end, what we'll do is we'll pull 3 cards for your current energy, see exactly where you are right now, and then we will pull 3 cards to see why it is that you are there. Now, like I said, it could be any of the reasons that I've laid out already. It could be something different. It could be all of those things. I've seen that happen before too. But we'll have a look at it, and then we'll close out with 3 cards of advice. There won't be an extended to this. These are standalone readings. And like I said, it's an exercise in perspective. It's spend a bit of time sitting with the themes that come through and what comes up as a result. So, Libra. 3 cards for Libra, please. There's the first one. We have the 6 of Wands. We have the Justice card. That's magnificent because that is the card of Libra. One more, please. And we have Strength. This is excellent, Libra, because the last few months have been really fucking choppy for you. I'll flip this around so you can see it, right? There have been lots of things that have been pulling you backwards and forwards. You have felt to me to be very stretched thin. And certainly in the last couple of months, there have been themes coming up for you that have been very, very difficult for you to deal with. I'm thinking specifically about a situation that you found yourself in. I think it was in November, December, October time, where there was a course of action, or rather, let's put it this way. You felt trapped and there was an option that was open to you, but in order to take that, it had you having to be something that you'd prided yourself on not being. And I don't mean by any extent that you were being bad or anything like that. I feel like it was a situation that required you to put yourself first. And there was something about that was so confrontational and challenging to you that it seemed to speak to your very identity. But what we see here is the first indication that you are well past that now. That energy has been and gone, and you feel to me for the first time in months to have found, to almost feel like you found yourself again, like you're feeling like who you are. You're feeling better in your own skin, but there's a feeling of kind of winning again. I think rather than being stuck and feeling trapped and wondering what the future might hold, there's much more of an energy of, I can do this, I can decide. Well, maybe you've made plans for yourself, but The Six of Wands feels like a victory. The Justice card being here talks about balance being restored, but it also talks about you coming back to yourself, right? It's a really authentic expression of your energy. And then we have the Strength card. Like, there's no doubt here that you have grown in some considerable fashion, personally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever, in conquering this situation, right? You've become just a little bit stronger. You've become just a little bit more resolute. And where it looked like you were wobbling before, everything just feels better now. And that was the whole point of the energy. That was the whole point of the exercise. You know, the challenges that were put in front of you were yours to conquer, and it seems to me that you have done that. Let's have a look and see why you're in this energy as it is at the moment. I mean, I feel like it's kind of obvious, but why is Libra where they are? Five of Swords. Queen of Swords. Oh, Libra, that's really strong. Look at that. That Queen of Swords is a Libra card as well. And for it to be sat there right on top of the Justice card, incredible. Wow. Look at this. Now, we've got the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. We've got the Five of Swords and the Ten of Swords flanking you, Libra, as the Queen of Swords. I think this is all about challenging your mindset. It's been about challenging your mindset, challenging your narrative, and showing you how it is possible for you to hold the wrong idea about who you are and what is important and what is open to you and what is possible for you to do and what is not. And I think that the victory and the benefits that you are feeling right now, where life is feeling really good again, is a very simple demonstration of how, if you challenge your preconceived notions about your identity, about what you can do and what you can't and all that sort of thing, if you push yourself out of your comfort zone, if you expose where it is that you are being cruel to yourself, or you are allowing history to dictate the next step that you make, or your narrative of history to dictate the next step that you make, that you will break through into something that is not only I was going to say more pleasant, but see, the thing is, when you break out of your comfort zone, what you do is you get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And you were deeply uncomfortable for months. And usually when that happens, it's the universe pushing you to make some sort of change. Now, I think that there was a specific situation that you were dealing with that called to be changed. But what was underpinning that was the thought processes into which you went with it, in it. Ooh, I'm not really sure where I was going with that sentence. I don't know if I could, if I delivered it correctly, but hopefully you know what I mean. Yeah, the Five of Swords for me is, well, it's called the Lord of Cruelty. It is about the way that we self-sabotage. It's about the way that we keep ourselves very restricted by getting stuck in cognitive loops that have us thinking the same way about something, right? So we're coming up against situations and we try all of our usual things and none of those things work. Then it's easy to get very dispirited. It's easy to get disheartened. It's easy to go, well, I'm having the shit kicked out of me by the universe here and I don't fucking understand why. And this is why. It's because you're doing everything the same way that you have always done it. Now, like I said, whatever different type of behaviour you had to indulge in order to get yourself out of that situation, it felt like it challenged you to the very core on an identity level. Maybe you, for example, I'll take this example, right? Maybe you really pride yourself on being a loyal person who is there for people when you need them, but you've had somebody who has overstepped your boundaries wildly, has somewhat of a psychic vampire who's just leeching all of the life out of you. Now, the correct step away from that situation would be to literally pull yourself away from that situation and say, enough is enough. Here is a big old fucking boundary. I'm not overstepping that and you shouldn't be overstepping it too. But in order to do that, it has to challenge your belief about being loyal and being there for people no matter what, and being incredibly strong to be able to, practically help with situations or whatever. There was so much resistance to that. that I felt over the course of a month or two, and it's broken open. It's perhaps a lesson in making hard and fast rules for yourself, or having too much pride in who you are as opposed to who you could be, I guess, as is often put. It's about challenging all of those things that keep you stuck, and you have done that. I mean, I can't get over this here. I mean, I don't know why I'm surprised, but it's really strong. You've really come back to who you are now, Libra. And more than that, you have learned a really vital lesson. And I'm afraid to say it is often by way of the swords that we learn these vital lessons. And the importance being, so I'll just explain. The Tower of the Abyss has 2 Ten of Swords in it, and one of them is the standard one that you would expect to see. It's kind of like a rehashing of the Waite-Smith Ten of Swords, right? But this one is really powerful because it speaks to wisdom, and the wisdom that is accrued through challenging and difficult circumstances, right? Things that really push us to our limit. We've got the 10 swords in the feathers of the owl there. But then we have this old man full of wisdom and experience, simply because he has gone through all of this. And look how he is capable of looking this owl directly in the eye. There's no resistance here to the idea that things can end and things can change, and that is okay. I think the bigger message here is that you are keeping yourself very fixed, Libra, in the best tradition of these things. Like, the only person who can really keep us still is ourselves. The only person who can really restrict us is ourselves. And this is what you've learned. And see here with this Ace of Swords as well, there's a truth here. Now, I always feel a tinge of sadness when I see this Ace of Swords, and perhaps it is that you've realised that this situation could have been resolved considerably earlier than it was if you had just seen it. But I would focus more on this Ten of Swords here. You have seen it, and this has by extension changed the way that you think now. There is a truth that you now know that you didn't know before, and I think that's incredibly valuable. But, you know, after the bad times come the good, you know, like the sun coming out after the rain, or a rainbow appearing, you know, as the skies are beginning to clear up. Do your work, and good things will follow. I mean, it's a very simple recipe, and one, it seems, that you've suddenly worked out. Give me some advice, please, thank you, for Libra. We have the Empress. We have the Seven of Pentacles. And we have the Four of Swords. That's really interesting. Not least because I feel for some of you that this Empress card, indicating Libra, interestingly, so we got you coming right the way through here. Also Taurus as well, could well be speaking to motherhood generally, whether it is your position as a mother, or your position as someone who has a mother, or perhaps the way that you tried to mother this situation and got in too deep and then had to pull back. I think that that's a relevant point for some of you. And perhaps it is, perhaps it's challenged and revised your idea of what a mother should be. That's possible too. But it's yet another beautiful expression of energy. You've got every Libra card that there is here on the table. Now you are back, and you are who you are again. And you have learned that in the face of things being less than perfect, being less than suitable for you to operate effectively, it is down to you to make the changes. It is down to you to create the kind of experience that you flourish in, rather than you feel restricted by. You know, this Four of Swords is a lovely, mentally restful card. It speaks about taking a break, taking a step back, and I think as advice, that is a really cool thing, because the Queen of Swords is given to be one of the most objective cards in the deck. She pushes the emotion and subjectivity to one side, and along with the King of Swords, these two energies both are highly discerning and extremely objective. So if you feel yourself getting stuck in any kind of thing, you know, rather than allowing yourself to submit to the emotion of the situation, particularly if it taps into some aspect of your identity and challenges you on that front too, is to step back, is to look at this from, you know, a distance of 2 feet further back than where you were, and just make sure that you're seeing things as they actually are, rather than as you perceive them to be, because I feel like your outlook's completely changed. But being complacent about that can often lead to the same situation coming back, just wearing different clothes to challenge you again. Right? It's like, as soon as you start to feel restricted or uncomfortable, or like something isn't going the way that you want it to go, or even that people are taking things from you that you do not want to give, be it your time, your care, your effort, your money, your love, whatever it is, stand back and make sure that you are not the one who is allowing this to happen. You know, it's huge wisdom to carry forwards into 2023 with you. But other than that, I think bloody good job, Libra. This is excellent. And I hope that kind of feeling that you have up here continues. In fact, if you lose that feeling, then that's probably a good indication that it's time to employ the Four of Swords and stand back and see what is wrong with this situation and why it isn't everything up here. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Good job, Libra. I like this a lot. Know that I love you all very, very much, and I'll see you soon.